Hey guys, Smitty here with Just Piddlin Barbecue. Today we're going to do baby back ribs with a scuppernong pepper jelly glaze. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so today we're going to be doing baby back ribs. Quick note before we get started, Brandy's going to be helping me today with lifting the lid and all that stuff. I'm about 12 days out from spine surgery on my neck. Still really pretty sore and not allowed to lift much, so Brandy's going to do the lifting on the grill, on the lid and all that stuff. So thanks to her for helping out with that, but the show must go on, so we're going to get this video started. Baby back ribs today. I've got some scuppernong pepper jelly that we got from a local winery. They make some great stuff, and so I'm going to make a glaze with that. But first, we've got to get these baby back ribs seasoned up, so let's do that now. So I've already taken the membrane off the back, trimmed up both ends just to make them a little bit more square. Had a little jagged bones on the end. Now I'm going to use some of my mustard sauce as a binder for this. It's not going to take much. Just a little bit over the back. We're going to spread that out. And that's just going to give the rub something to stick to. Probably add a little bit of texture, a little bit of color as well. But this is more of a mustard-based sauce. And for the seasoning, I'm going to be using Oak Ridge Barbecue's Dominator Sweet Rib Rub. But I've got it in a shaker here just to make it easier to apply. But that's one of my favorite rubs that I have. So we're just going to cover the back of these, and then we're going to flip these over and get the front of them. We're going to kind of pat them in a little bit, and we're going to give it about a minute or two just for it to kind of set in a little bit before we flip them over. All right, now we've got them flipped over. We're going to add a little bit more binder. You don't have to use a binder if you don't want to. You could use mustard. You could use, most time I use olive oil, but today I figured I would use a little bit of my barbecue sauce. And these are not anything special as far as brand of ribs go. These are straight from Sam's Club. And now let's add a little bit of this rub in here. Pat that in, and now we're going to let this set for about 15 or 20 minutes until the Yoder YS 640S pellet smoker comes up to temperature. Might as well get the ends too. We're using hickory and apple pellets today, set at 250 degrees. Once it comes up to temperature, we're going to get it on. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get these ribs on. This rag here is thicker, so I'm going to put it toward the smokestack. Make sure they're straight. And this one's going on second. Again, make sure it's straight. Scoot them together. And then we're going to lower the lid and let it go for about an hour. And then I'll bring y'all back, and we're probably going to start spritzing with some apple cider vinegar. Alright guys, these ribs have been on 1 hour, and you can see they've dried out a little bit, so we're going to spritz them a little bit with Just a half and half mixture, apple cider vinegar and water. Just a nice little mist. You don't want to knock the rub off. Get them moistened up, let that smoke stick to them. Keep a moist environment in there, get it closed. Probably bring you back in about another hour. Alright guys, so these ribs have been on right at 3 hours. The color's right where I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and take them off and wrap them. But let me show you what they look like now, and then we're going to get them inside, and I'll show you how we're going to wrap them. Great color. Nice, pretty racks. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is lay down a little bit of brown sugar. Not much, because we're using our pepper jelly, which is already sweet as it is. Just a little bit of brown sugar. And then to stay with the pepper jelly theme, we're going to lay down a couple of blots of the pepper jelly down here, and then we're going to make a glaze out of the rest of it with a little bit of simple syrup and butter. About 4 of those, and then we'll go back with about 4 pats of butter. And then we're going to go with our ribs, and we're going to go meat side down with those. And any little pieces of marrow that's sticking off, you can go ahead and take those off if you want to, no big deal. We're not doing competition stuff, we're doing backyard stuff, but you still want to try to make it look as good as you can. So clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to do that on the top side, we're going to do it only on the meat side. Now it's time to get them wrapped up. Now you can see we've got some pullback on the bones right here. So when we wrap them with foil, you want to be careful that these bones don't stick through that tin foil, like I'm probably fixing to do. Get it good and tight, get that foil tight on those ribs. Matter of fact, this is heavy duty tin foil, so I think I'm only going to go one for each, as long as they don't stick through. Now let's do the second one. Brown sugar. Spread it out a little bit. A little bit of pepper jelly. And a little bit of butter. Second rack of ribs. Man, they look good and they smell good. Wrap them up tight. All right, now we're going to get these back on. And again, we're going to put them back on meat side up. All right, so that's stage 2. We've got them smoked, we've got them wrapped, and now we're gonna check on them probably in about an hour to see where they're at. So we'll be back in about an hour. All right guys, the ribs have been wrapped for 1 hour. We're fixing to check those, but I've got some of the pepper jelly in this little pot. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the heat and let it start melting down a little bit so we can use that as a glaze. Let's go check the ribs. All right, we're gonna check this first rack, see what it looks like. Just check them out, they smell good. Got some nice pullback on the bone right there. Oh, and they're bending really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and say we need to glaze that one for sure. Pretty sure about that. Rack number 2. Oh, look at the pullback on that. That's definitely done. Oh yeah. Definitely need to glaze those as well. We're going to go ahead and glaze. And again, this is the pepper jelly from the winery. Should have a good sweetness, but a little bit of spice too. I need to touch up this part over here while I'm thinking about it with a little bit more rub. And right across there. And this one right in there. I'm going to put this glaze on here and put it back on for probably about 15 or 20 minutes. Let it melt on top. And then we're going to take them off, let them rest for maybe an hour would be ideal, but I don't know if we can wait that long, maybe a half hour. And then we're going to give it a taste test and see how we did. Probably have to go back over that spot right there a little bit, but again, this doesn't matter really. This is backyard ribs. And that looks good. All right, I'm happy with that. Again, touch this little area right here up. Hopefully that'll darken up a little bit. Now we're going to get these boats back on for about 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll bring you back and show you what they look like. Oh yeah. Those. All right guys, so here's the ribs. They look fantastic. Baby back ribs, scuppering on pepper jelly, probing very tender. Very nice. Very nice. So we're going to let these rest for about, probably all we're going to do is 30 minutes because we're ready to get into them. And then we'll come back for a taste test and that'll wrap it up. All right guys, these ribs have been resting probably a half hour or so. Now we're fixing to cut into them and see how we did. They look really good. Smell really good. Beautiful ribs. All right, so we're gonna flip them over so I can see the bones better, so when I cut them, it's a little bit easier. See if we can stay right in the middle of the meat there. Feels really tender. Slide them back over. And those look good. Oh, right there's got my name on it, I think. There we go, guys. Beautiful smoke rating on these things. Good moisture. Beautiful on the outside. But how do they taste? We're about to find out. Perfect bite. Oh, I got all in my face. Very tender. Juicy. Packed with flavor. Got scuppering on pepper jelly. That's amazing. Guys, this was a great cook. Happy 4th of July to everybody. We got some folks over this afternoon. There's nothing better than cooking on an American-made grill. Baby back ribs, 4th of July, can't get any better than that. The Yoder Smoker YS640 did great. Scuppering on pepper jelly from Watermelon Creek Vineyards. That was great. The Oak Ridge barbecue rub, fantastic. Pick up some of that. I'm fixing to cut up the rest of these ribs and we're fixing to eat. So thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, we'll be piddling. See you guys.